So, so this is Thika Road, near Kenya Breweries. The opposite side, the opposite side of Kenya Breweries, and Kenya Breweries is across the road where you can see some yellow container here, yellow, black, and those containers. This house over there, so that is it. Around this area there are nice apartments over here, very nice apartments with nice balcony. Nice apartments with very good balcony. And a parking lot while there is a soldier down there. It's a nice place. The Civil Society Reference Group is training us on or they are strengthening our capacity on leadership. And yesterday we were asked to read a case study, which I have not done. I know time is not on my side, but I will try to read it as fast as possible, so that even if I get ready to the meeting, it should not be more than 10 minutes. This is something I can digest very fast. So this is on leadership and management. We started yesterday. This leadership and management of civil society organizations, good governance, integrity, and ethics, and also pod development. Now the case study is here. A case study 2, Dr. Julius Kimngetich, Transforming a Public Sector Organization. An interview with Dr. Julius Kimngetich on turning around of Kenya Wildlife Service, KWS, from 800 million to 4.7 billion Kenyan shillings organization. Question: why do you think people refer to you as a transformational leader? Answer: let us look at the principles, because anything I say beyond that will be unlikely my character. The first principle of transformational leadership begins with character. You must have a character to the extent that it doesn't matter what you do, whether you are running a church, a government institution, or a profit-making business. So the point here is principles. Whether you are running a church, an institution, or a profit-making business, whatever it is, you must have a willingness to serve. This willingness to serve was drummed into me and many other boys in Istare. The principles, there are around how many principles? This is 4, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 principles. Then another question was asked of him. So let us go. The first principle is legacy. In Griffin's world, he said that at the end of the day, when your arrival is over on this planet, your services is the only thing you have to take to heaven, nothing else. Your checkbooks, family, and everything else will be left here. What you take to heaven is your legacy account. When you meet St. Peter in heaven, he asks you, do you want more time on the planet Earth? Your answer should be no. The reason your reason should be no is that you should not have any regrets that you left anything on this planet unfinished. It doesn't matter at what age that time ends. If you are 40, you should have done what was expected of a 40-year-old. If you live to 50, to be 50, 60, 80, or 100, you should not have any regret What you do, make sure you have a firm legacy. The second principle is mentor. Griffin did not have children. When we asked him why he did not marry, his answer was very clear. I have you, why should I have more children? When we asked him why he didn't have a companion, he said his role at Stare and NYS required his full attention. If he married, he could love the woman half-heartedly. He could not want that. Griffin died in 2005, but wrote the philosophy that I keep with me that had the biggest impact on me as a person. Strangely, even more than the religion. I am a Catholic. Stare had the greatest impact of my character and on my beliefs through life. That was the foundation. The principle number 3 is wearing hat. It begins with character. Transformational leadership begins with a belief system and character, because character influences how you achieve your goals. A lot of your goals are what you believe in. In whatever office I go to, I tell myself I have to do the best I can. Being in government is not about a pay slip. This job doesn't pay, but I said, since I have chosen to be here, I would give it my best shot. The day I do not like it, I would not do things half-heartedly. I would get up and go and let somebody else come and do the job that has a willing heart. The fourth principle is knowledge. The next thing that has helped me is knowledge. If you want to do something, gain as much knowledge as you can about that something. I have gained incredible knowledge about conservation. I was not a biologist, but since I had a very strong belief in humanity and the balance in the planet, it was not very difficult to learn it, because a lot of things to do with environment are common sense. If you read the book of Genesis, God gave us the command to take care of all other species. It begins from there, starting from belief, philosophy, and then building knowledge. A lot of what I have is management knowledge, because I come from the University of Nairobi Business School. With that management knowledge, I was able to inject leadership into a conservation organization, and the results have been dramatic. The foundation was knowledge, belief, and character. The next principle is strategy. The other thing is strategy. So when I came here, I made a diagnosis to find out what the organization requires. 5 things were important, however. There was no strategy execution. How do you then actualize things you believe in? Strategy is how to do something. How to do something you believe in. One was to streamline the leadership and governance issues. The reason why the government put me here was the governance question. There had been a recruitment scandal, financial impropriety, and things were just not working. I asked the minister not to worry, to leave it to me and allow me to do the diagnosis. Leadership and governance was the number one thing. It was not about the person in this office, because there were previous directors who were stars in their own right, but lacked management skill. That is why this organization had so many problems. By 2008, we were winning awards that were normally the preserve of private sector. We won the number 1 position for leadership governance in 2008 Company of the Year awards. We beat all the private sector companies that entered that competition. We demonstrated to government that everything is possible. Then the principle number 6 is staff motivation. The second thing we struggled with was staff motivation and commitment, building a committed workforce that is motivated to do their job. Motivation is about raising productivity, making people do more. I can guarantee you the KWS Ranger is the most efficient public servant in the Republic of Kenya. It is about transferring your beliefs to staff. What you do is not just a job, it is a calling. In fact, here we call it a calling. If you came to KWS because you wanted a job, you are in the wrong place. Go elsewhere where you can get a job. But since you have committed yourself and have been given a gun, do the protection and do it well. The day you don't want to go on, Bring the gun, come and say, I don't want it. Go and do something that your heart leads you to do. We used a lot of management theory, of course, and we were able to touch the right patterns in employees. The principle number 7 is fix the economic engine. The third one is fixing economic engine. Enable them to do their job well. Buy the right tools, equipment, houses, and buildings. One of the things I impressed on staff in the leadership structure of KWS was that every decision has financial implications. Picking the phone incurs a cost. Sending someone to town is a cost. Switching on a light bulb is a cost. I then asked, how do we fix our economic engine that produces this money that we spend? When I arrived, the revenue of the organization was 800 million shillings. As of today, 2012, it stands at 4.7 billion. We looked at our economic engine, the one that puts bread and butter on the table, and said that what do we need to do, and of course control costs. We were only able to do things which were made possible by donor funds. Today, our organization survives on its own budget completely. Principle number 8, systems and technology. The fourth is systems and technology. We said this organization must not run on the whims of an individual, but on its own processes and procedures, which are independent of the people. We focused on systems and structure and went to ISO for processes and have invested in technology. Every manager and board member in KWS has an iPad. We are the first government institution to go completely paperless. When we were to go for board meetings, everyone brings an iPad. Systems and processes have become the hallmark of KWS. We developed our management structure, and I don't worry about what goes on the ground. The systems works. All I manage here is exception. When I came here, everyone used to refer everything to me. I could tell them, but you are the wearer of the shoe on the ground. They should say no. This requires director's approval. The day we introduced the procedures and the levels of approval, everybody was clear about authority. They can read the manual and know who will approve it. Systems monitor revenues. We have a wide area network around the country. In remote places where radio communication is poor, we give them satellite phones. For us to use technology is as basic as ABC. Principle number next is image and brand. The fifth strategy was image and brand. We then build on our successes to consolidate our image, our brand, and let others learn from it. Many institutions have learned from us. I attend as many talks as I can. People invite me to give talks and share experiences, especially involving university students like you. I feel I have a responsibility to the next generation of leaders to share, even if from our own mistakes, let them learn also. We built a very strong brand, and the reason why it is fitted into our strategy was that there are only two things globally where Kenya is known: wildlife and athletics. So I told staff, you can carry Kenya's competitiveness. Don't just say you are a ranger, the lowest rank. No, you represent Kenya. When a visitor sees you shabby, you are damaging Kenya's brand. That had a huge implication on the people we hire. You will never see a KWS vehicle smoking or dirty. Immediately it comes from the bush, it is washed and cleaned. Our compound is always neat and clean. We also used a lot of Japanese approaches such as Kaizen. Vision 2030 is the next principle. With those 5 pillars, we have driven a lot of business. There are many things that have happened in the process, but everything now falls into one of those. So we have driven for 8 years now, and going forward, we are ahead of Vision 2030 targets by 10 years. We will achieve all those targets by 2020. We will house all our staff by 2020. We would have awarded all our possible sites in our national parks and attract all the investment required. Everything that has put in that vision will have been achieved by 2020. We would now go to the next phase. Our budgeted income is on target. But by the year 2025, we will be at 27 billion budget organization. The growth in tourism pie will drive the organization there. We have mapped out a path to get there. Any director who comes here will find a already defined path up to 2030. It doesn't matter even if I leave tomorrow. Strategy will change, but board goals are already very clear. That is the clarity that will then drive the staff irrespective of who sits in this office. We all share in this vision and evangelize it on the ground.